This week on Winchester and Drury's Natural Born.
Okay, it's him. Here we go. Looks like a shooter.
Welcome to the windswept plains of western Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, that's the Jerbuck.
Welcome to Winchester and Drury's Natural Born, where we combine the American legend that is Winchester with a natural-born passion for all things hunting.
That is a mega 8.
This week, on an all-new season of Winchester and Drury's Natural Born, we're heading to the Lone Star State to join up with hunting duo Daryl Burchell and Rick Malik as they look to pull off a Texas double with their Matthews bows.
Texas two-step double on the high plains, baby. Wow.
Then we'll travel north to Missouri as father and daughter combo Tim and Sophia Jelsvik look to fill some bow tags on some nice Show Me State whitetails.
You killed your first deer.
After that, we'll close things out in Oklahoma as Tim looks to let his Winchester 270 bark on a great Sooner State buck.
I gotta catch my breath now.
We've got a jam-packed episode, so let's get things started in Texas. Here we go.
You know, I've hunted for years now in Texas, and it's one of my favorite places to bow hunt. I've spent time down there with John Odell, certainly, and with Daryl Burchell, but it's always been in South Texas. This year, I'm changing it up. I'm headed up into the northern panhandle of Texas, hunting with Casey Carter of Antlers Edge Outfitters.
Here with Casey Carter with Antlers Edge Outfitters, and we're here in August setting up our spots. We had a great day yesterday, got some good setups here. We got a river running all down through here and just tons of thick brush where these bucks pour out of here. Just put the T-post in. We're gonna wait. This is gonna be a big food plot here Casey's gonna put in, and this is where our blind's gonna be. I'm gonna pop that up in early September anyways, give them a good month and a half to get used to it. This spot is gonna rock.
You know, Casey, he's a rifle hunting outfitter, and he does it very well. He has a tremendous amount of land. This region of Texas, up in the northern panhandle, is the high plains region, and it is so different in terrain, huge prairie and deep canyons and big wheat fields. I truly did feel like I was stepping out in Kansas. We were getting pictures all summer long, and we were so excited because there were some really awesome looking deer showing up on both ranches we were gonna hunt. You know, there was one deer in particular that was so cool. We called him Big Red just because of the color of his coat. It's a deer that Daryl knew well. You know, I was so excited to get down there in Texas, meet up with Daryl and David, and then head on over to the ranch and meet up with Casey for our first hunt.
We're being quiet here because we're really not that far from our blind. Just on this side of this supposed to be wheat field. It has been so dry here. It's just popping. There's hardly any rain.
Well, as they say, with best laid plans, that rain never came. And even though we had some weed up when we got there in October, it was nowhere near where it should be.
Well, we're finally set up here, and it's plenty early, but we've got some really bad wind tonight. We're in a blind, actually, that Daryl built solid as a rock, and it's a really cool little draw feeding right down in here. We got a pond behind us, and it is 90 degrees right now, and there has not been rain here in a good month and a half. We were here in August setting all these blinds up. I think we've had maybe an inch or so of rain since then, but hey, wish us luck. Can't kill them from the couch, so stay tuned.
Well, we weren't in that blind long, and it's tucked back in a really cool spot, and these bucks start flooding out well before daylight heading to the wheat field.
He just jumped the fence.
Split brow. Yeah.
He's looking right at us.
Well, it ends up we knew this buck, and you know, he's got an awesome frame and he's right there in bow range. I got the Matthews in hand, but he needs at least another year or two, so we're gonna hang the bow back up and enjoy it and let him walk.
Those brow tines are insane.
You know, we had so many deer flooding out past us in this spot. I mean, I think we saw 9 or 10 bucks that night and had multiple opportunities, but we were able to watch the wheat field behind us and all the way across the field where we were getting pictures of Big Red, and sure enough, we think we see him that night right in front of the blind.
Man, we are finally set. 2 years of chasing Big Red. He has been a nemesis, but we watched him last night at the corner of this food plot. Him and 4 other bucks were together. Yesterday evening it was 80, 85 degrees. Today it's 42. We've had the wind change and the weather temperature change that we've wanted. So hopefully Big Red will play the game tonight and come to the corner of this field like he did last night, and we'll get him. Wish us luck.
You know, it was so exciting. We got in the blind super early that afternoon. We've got a strong north wind, and we weren't set up long, and deer start pouring out into the wheat field.
Okay, it's him. Here we go.
Well, I couldn't believe it. There's Big Red, and here he comes right to us. You know, we were celebrating. We had put so much time and effort in. Daryl had hunted this ranch for 2 years, and we're probably celebrating a little too loud. I look up, though, and who's coming in? His buddy, the Big 8.
You think I should shoot him? I think he's a great management deer, dude. All right.
Double on the high plains, baby. Wow. That's a management buck right there. 27 yards. Wow.
Both of us just had the opportunity within minutes of each other to shoot awesome Texas whitetails. I mean, Big Red, that's a buck Daryl put so much time into, and I was so happy. And then for myself to be able to take a buck on the same hunt, it was an experience I will never forget. Well, here they are, buddy. My first ever and your first ever double, right, with the bow. Up here in North Texas, up in the Panhandle, this high prairie area that, you know, hunting with Casey Carter, Antlers Edge Outfitters. I've been looking forward to this for 2 years. Daryl introduced me to Casey and was up here last year. Has a couple years history with this deer we call Big Red, dark chocolate horn stud, huh?
Yes.
Watched this deer a couple nights. He's been consistent, and but these deer have moved for miles. We've got a big drought up here. The wheat fields are really struggling, but temperatures, what? They dropped big time.
The temperature is what did it. I mean, it went from 90 degrees down to 42, a north wind, and it enabled us to get in this corner of this field. And man, sure enough, about 7 o'clock, these deer started piling in. We had 50, 60 deer in the field, and then when he came in, he gave us a 28-yard shot. Man, made a good shot, and lo and behold, 15 minutes later, your deer came in. And again, your first double and my first double. What a night.
Yep, that put the Matthews VXR to use. First deer, first double. An amazing night here in North Texas, a night I'll never forget. Thank you, man.
Good, baby. Enjoyed it.
Here's to never missing a day of hunting camp. Because with DeerCast, you can take camp with you all season long. Get ahead of your game.
With the October lull in full swing back home, hunting duo Daryl Burchell and Rick Malik decided to head down to the Lone Star State, and it didn't take long for a giant Texas bruiser named Big Red to step out in front of Daryl's Matthews VXR.
2 years chasing this deer, buddy.
After a brief celebration, the guys noticed a nice 8-point coming back to the field, and Rick wasted no time picking up his Matthews bow.
Texas two-step double on the high plains, baby. Wow.
Now we're gonna head up to Missouri and join up with DoD's own Tim Chelsvik as he and his daughter Sophie set out to fill a couple of bow tags.
So it's October 12th and DeerCast is showing a great for this evening. And we've had a few pours and bads. We've got a rare cold front coming through. Winds are out of the north. The barometer is on the rise. So that means I'm gonna sneak out of work a little bit early today. DeerCast does not endorse sneaking out of work. So we have a rare DeerCast great night tonight. We've had a series of pours and bads. So that's why I snuck out of work, and that's why I'm taking advantage of a little time to hop into the stand, because the deer know it's time to move. So some other factors going into this little sneak out, I didn't kill a single buck in 2019. So I'm desperate to get something done this year. And my daughter wants to kill a deer this year. So I've got a full dance card. I gotta get Daddy's tag out of the way, and then I can focus on Sophie.
Welcome to October 12th. Now we've got a rare bout of really great weather. We got dropping temps, the barometer's pretty high. We got squirrels on the ground. Now I haven't hunted this valley at all. I hung a couple stands back here this summer and pretty much backed out. So I'm excited. It's kind of an observational sit, but obviously I got the VXR with me just in case a nice buck walks by. So we're gonna sit, we're gonna observe, and kind of get ready for what's coming up here later on in October when things heat up.
So I've been in the stand for about 3 hours and seeing lots of does, lots of small bucks. The wind is starting to die down, which is good. Daylight is fading, and I look up and see it's a buck, and he's got a good sized body. It's a little dark, so it's kind of hard to tell what kind of rack he's got, but I'm watching intently, and it's game on. Here I am with a deer on the approach. I'm thinking I gotta get everything ready. So I'm turning cameras on. He's coming from the north here, so I have to turn myself around in the stand. There's a lot to do to get ready, and I'm still not 100% sure which trail he's gonna follow. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of variables that can go wrong here, but I'm trying to manage them all as quickly as I can to be ready for him.
Oh my gosh. He's down.
So my nocturnal didn't fire when I took the shot, and I couldn't quite tell exactly where I hit him. I'm trying to watch him and move the camera at the same time to catch him going down if he's going to. Didn't quite get him in frame, but apparently it was a good shot because he fell at probably 60 yards. Looky there. Yes! Well, there's nothing like good friends. After I saw that deer go down, started making the calls, called my buddies Jeremy and Nick. They came out to help me drag him out of this valley. It was extremely rocky, way, way back in the woods. But man, I tell you what, it was so much fun to finally have a good deer in front of me and to take him with the new Matthews VXR. When DeerCast says great, you need to jump on it. Thanks everyone for watching. Good luck this fall. So we had a great time celebrating with buddies. They helped me with all the post-kill stuff. Just an awesome evening. The other great thing is Daddy's dance card just cleared up, and it's Sophie's turn to head to the blind and try to kill her first ever whitetail. Sophie, we're heading out for our hunt for your first whitetail. What's DeerCast say about today, babe?
It says good.
It sure does. So we're gonna go out, got the crossbow loaded up, and what happens if you kill?
I get as many hash browns as I want tomorrow morning because they don't sell them in the evening.
Daddy's gonna be hash brown poor.
We are in the blind. It's about 3:30, so we have plenty of time. I don't expect to start seeing deer until maybe 5 o'clock or so. We got a nice little spot down here in a food plot we put in this summer. If you see a doe, what are you gonna do? Shoot it. Everything's fair game tonight. So now we sit back and we wait. Right? Let's do it.
It ain't easy being a dad, but when it comes together, man, it is so worth it. Way to go, Soph. So obviously a really difficult shot here, and I'm really proud of Sophie for making it, but I was cautious as I saw it run off. We reviewed the footage. I figured, let's give it a while, and we go to drive out, and guess what was glowing up on that hillside?
Sophie, your deer. Your deer. It's there. You killed your first deer. Wow.
Well, this is my daughter Sophia's first ever whitetail kill, and I am so proud of you, honey. I know you've worked hard. It's been like 2 or 3 years of hunting. You've finally done it. You're only 8 years old, and it was so much fun to watch you get behind the crossbow and make it happen. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. And I don't know, do you want to keep doing this? You want to keep hunting? Sounds good. Well, how about you give your old dad a kiss on the cheek? Ah, I gotcha. So the Chelsviks are champions. We got Daddy tagging out. We got Sophie killing her first ever whitetail. And that means that Daddy's got to pay out on the hash brown promise I made to her prior to the hunt. This is why there's no greater joy in the world than being a parent. It's so rewarding, and I'm so proud of Sophie.
Natural Barn is brought to you by Analogics Outdoors, Scent Crusher, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, Reconyx Game Cameras, Tracker Off-Road, Leupold Optics, Cold Steel, Mossio Camouflage, DeerCast, Matthews Archery, and presented by Winchester Ammunition. The October lull in Missouri proved to be anything but, as father-daughter hunting combo Tim and Sophie Chelsvik were able to harvest a couple of nice whitetails with their bows.
You shot your first deer. Oh, give me
Now, with Sweet November in full swing, Tim has one more bow tag in Missouri, and he's looking to make it 2 for 2.
Well, it's November 15th, right around peak estrus here in Missouri, which means those bucks are locked down with does. I had a lot of anticipation going out for this hunt, planned on hunting some thick bedding cover on the south side, but I found out that a guy that used to lease the property was coming out to take down his stands that afternoon. So what's plan B? I've got the Hawk Helium saddle with me. I got my climbing sticks. I'm gonna go on a saddle hunt, and I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but it's a total experiment here. Gonna go back into the thick stuff, low percentage because there's very little shooting lanes, but I think my knowledge of the property and how deer have moved over time is gonna help me carry the day.
I'm hanging in the Hawk Helium saddle right now of this old oak. This is the kind of buggy, nasty, gnarly stuff that these bucks will tend these does in. And so we got a good DeerCast day. The pressure's high. We finally got some sunshine, bluebird skies right now. I've got a good stretch of time before darkness hits to hopefully see some deer and run one of these victory arrows through them.
So I was hanging in the saddle. Then I see legs coming up the trail from the west. I see antlers coming through the cedars, and I'm getting excited. Like, this was just supposed to be a shot in the dark, and now the buck was about to come through. Or so I thought. This guy hung up at the edge of the clearing and just stood there. Meanwhile, I'm dying because I see this is a buck I've called the Nubbin 9. I've got pictures from him in the summertime. I had an encounter with him a few weeks prior. I chose not to shoot him, but at this point in the season, I think I'm gonna try to shoot this deer. This guy is standing there just observing for like 15 minutes, but eventually he steps out.
an absolute rush.
You know, the adrenaline was so high after the shot, I had to calm myself down and really think about the steps required of getting back down the tree in the saddle, because I didn't want to make a mistake with nerves being so high and focusing on the deer. So safety first, always. Get back down out of the tree in the saddle, safe and sound, and then go recover that buck.
White belly. Heck yes. Yes.
One of the other challenges about self-filming is when you finally kill a buck. It's like, what do you do? Well, thankfully, I've got some really great friends. I called my buddy Nick Lape. He's a DeerCast contributor. He came out to help me do the recovery, take the pictures, all the fun stuff after the fact. He even drugged the deer out of the woods for me. What a guy. What an incredibly exhilarating hunt. My goodness, to be that close to a deer. They read the script. They came right to the tree on this old cedar and oak ridge here in the Missouri Ozarks. What a beautiful deer, what an incredible encounter. November 15th, it's gun season, that's why I'm sporting my orange. I am so thankful to be able to punch my second Missouri tag of the season, and the rest is history. So, try the adventure of saddle hunting, because when it comes together, boy, it really comes together. Welcome to the windswept plains of western Oklahoma, where there are more cattle than there are people, but there are also more whitetails. So the 2020 deer season has been a pretty darn good one for the Chelsviks. And now I get an invite from my friends at Mossy Oak and La Crosse and Loophole to come on out to Oklahoma to the Canadian River Hilton and do a little whitetail hunting with a rifle, which, by the way, I've never killed a whitetail deer with a gun. Imagine that.
We've got a shooting light, and along with the rest of the world waking up, so have the sandhill cranes. You can hear them in the background. So John and I were just talking, we might start singing karaoke up in here, because there's no chance these deer are gonna hear us with all the racket going on. You can see the bluff that we're overlooking. We're up about 100 feet, and we can see down into the Canadian River Valley here.
So the first morning we see a few does, but it was kind of a slow first morning, but it was truly awe-inspiring to be a part of that landscape and get to witness it waking up with first light. Okay, day one, sit two. We're out, it's about 3 o'clock, and getting another chance to sit over the same spot we were this morning, hoping the evening movement is a little better than the morning movement. Fast forward to the evening, again we see a few more deer, a 2.5-year-old buck, but still no mature buck.
It's day two, sit three on November 22nd here in western Oklahoma at the Canadian River Hilton, and in the background we've got our ever-present sandhill cranes. We've got a great DeerCast day ahead of us. Temperatures are pretty low, a northerly breeze, so it's coming right at us, right in our face. So we're set up on this bluff again, same spot. We're just hoping for a different result.
There's a deer. There's a good buck coming in.
You want to take the camera? Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's the mature buck. What are you thinking about this window here? Straight front, probably.
It's right here.
That's my first rifle buck. What a rush that was. He came trotting down the runway there. We got a little close, a little bit of contorting. We played a game of Twister to get down on him, but man, the Winchester and the loophole just put a hurting on him. That's a lot of fun. All right. I gotta catch my breath now. That deer went maybe 80 yards or so. We pulled it up on DeerCast track. That shoulder down into the lungs, probably hard. I'm anxious to see what the hit looks like. But DeerCast track says, go get your buck. That's what we're gonna do.
Sometimes the hunt comes together so quickly you just can't believe it, and we're still in disbelief. This guy came exactly where we really needed him to come. We got the Winchester and the loophole out the window and had to kind of angle down to get at him because he was coming so close to this bluff here over the Canadian River. We're about 100 feet up in the shooting house, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. But I'm so thankful for this opportunity to be able to take a deer like this. To even see one in the wild is amazing. And then to be able to put your hands on it, even better. It just does not get any better. Thank God I'm a deer hunter. I have to say thank you to my friends at Mossy Oak, Lacrosse, and Loophole. We had such a great time. The folks at the Canadian River Hilton really know how to host a hunt. Western Oklahoma is just a beautiful place to be, and to be able to take a great buck in that environment, there's nothing better.
Wow, what a way to kick things off here on a brand new season of Winchester and Drury's Natural Born.
That's a lot of fun.
Next week, it's a Texas showdown as Analogic's Mark Freese, my husband, Austin Land, and country music star Dustin Lynch all head down to the Lone Star State for some heart-pounding whitetail action.
I love it. Hope you love it.
You won't want to miss a single exciting moment right here next week on DoD TV.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Matthews Archery.